Welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. We just had our first mowing of the season with the Stihl RZ960i. It's kind of like cutting grass in an easy chair. Super comfortable. I was on the road most of the day today. I just got back a little bit ago, and it's about 6:45 in the evening right now. But I went back to Romney, West Virginia. If you remember a couple weeks ago, I went down there and picked up a Kawasaki mule that Levi bought. Well, nephew Christian bought one. So I'm back to Romney today, picked up his, and got it delivered. He actually went down with me. So we got that taken care of. I got the grass cut. Well, not all of it, but up here by the house where it really needed it. But it's looking real good. We have had tons and tons of rain. And then you get these sunny days like this in between. It is growing fast. Next up, we are going to give the Super Duty a much needed bath. It's been a while. This has been a great truck so far. I have to say though, my biggest complaint to date, it's not the end of the world, is the amount of brake dust. See that? Alright, got the truck cleaned up, and by the way, I will say, as far as the brake dust goes, it doesn't accumulate near as badly now as it did when I first had the truck. When I first got it, it was like, I mean, you'd put 1,500 miles on it, and the wheels were covered in brake dust, but now it's not as bad, but you still have to stay on top of it. But anyway, right now, I need to put some things away. It's going to get dark soon, and I need to prepare for tomorrow. We're going to have a very busy day tomorrow, and hopefully a productive one. So I'll report back first thing in the morning. So it is an absolutely beautiful morning, and the first thing on the agenda today is first scheduled service on the KX57-5, and it's an easy one. We need to change the gear oil in the final drive. You've got 3 plugs right here. This is the drain plug, this is the fill plug, and you take this one out. When you're filling it, when the oil starts running out of this one, you know it's full. You do this at 50 hours, and you don't have to do it again till 500 hours. It takes an 8mm hex head. Okay, we'll put the drain plug back in. I think it takes about a quart. All right, it's coming out. Actually, I just checked the book. It takes just a little bit under a quart. So I just checked the book again. It's actually 0.9 liters. So that's like 0.95 quarts. All right, service is complete. Next up, want to go to Sheets Hunter? Hop in. All right, while we are in maintenance mode here, we're going to clean this cab up just a little bit. We're not going to get too carried away. Had this plastic in here since when I got it. This mat will come out, but we're not going to do that right now. It's not that bad. But I wanted to mention, went and saw a movie last week. Civil War. And I'm telling you what, that movie was probably the dumbest movie I have seen in decades. I'm just going to say it. It was horrible. Complete, utter waste of time. I wasn't expecting much out of it. And when I say waste of time, I just mean there was no storyline. It was about journalists, basically, trying to get good pictures. It was horrible. It was so bad, at times, I thought I was like part of a social experiment to see how long people would stay in the theater. And I actually stayed the whole time because I kept thinking it was going to get better, and that never happened. Definitely a swing and a miss. What you got there, Melissa?
Well, this was my Christmas gift from daughter Hannah and Tyler. I love The Price is Right, and they found the Price is Right show does a live version where they tour all over the United States, and they were in State College. And so for Christmas, Hannah got me tickets, and Hannah and I went the other night. And this is my name tag from being on, or I wasn't even on, but I was in the audience for the Price is Right live tour, which was kind of fun. So it's not Drew Carey that is the host of the Price is Right. It's Todd Newton. And then he had a Price is Right girl, she was super cute and young. You know, aren't we all when we're young? But and then they had an announcer guy, and it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I went. It was a nice gift, but this I'm keeping. So when we got home, I took my name tag off and just grabbed this cardboard from Hannah's house and stuck it on there. So I'm going to keep this as a memory.
Well, it's too bad you didn't get called up.
No, I think I would have been an excellent contestant.
Well,
and a lot of my friends that knew I was going, they complimented me with that. They're like, "Oh, you would have been an excellent contestant."
Oh well.
Okay, so how many of you watched The Price is Right or still watch it today?
I like Bob Barker. Not a fan of Drew Carey. I mean,
Yeah.
Bob was the man, you know? But I just told them about that movie. Luckily, you didn't go see it. I took Eva with me to see Civil War, and luckily you didn't go. It was
He said it's a swing and a miss.
Horrible movie. Worst one I've seen since Castaway.
Wonder why they even called it that.
I don't know. It was about a civil war in the U.S., but it was all about journalists trying to get a picture, and it was just dumb. Dumb.
Yeah.
I think the future documentary, you know, like in say 10 or 20 years of the next Civil War will be much more informative and riveting. Then Look at this, Melissa. Right there. Phone holder. Right down in there. Fits nice and snug.
Yeah.
So put this down.
Yeah.
Pull back on the right one a little bit. That's good. And then I'm going to start greasing the swing housing, I guess you call it.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you to turn a quarter turn. You will swing this way here. A quarter turn.
Yeah.
Quarter turn, quarter turn.
I'm not going to hit that?
No, I don't think. All right. Other way, Melissa. She did that on purpose. Good. Quarter turn. Good. Right joystick, that way. I think that's it. You can pull the lever up, shut her down. That makes it quick and easy. That's the swing gear so you spin it like that,
yeah,
round and round, so you're putting a little grease all the way around it. Some people joke and say, since this is a 57, you can only spin 57 times before it unscrews.
Ha ha.
All right, after I got the excavator all ready to go, I figured I might as well head out on the new road since it's dry. And if you look here, I already have one down tree blown across the road from one of the windstorms the other day. But it just finally started to dry up. And as I am editing this video, it's storming again outside right now. That's what keeps happening. You'll get a bunch of heavy rain, and then we'll get 2 or 3 days without rain. Things are just about dried up, and it comes again. But that was just a maple, just kind of getting it out of the way. And then I'm going to start carrying some brush back to the clearing. Probably tomorrow, I'm going to start burning back here. We'll speed things up a little bit, but what I did all along this road, I've got piles of brush, and looking at it now, I should have taken the time to cut it, like 12 feet long and then pile it up, because I got stuff here, it's like 30 feet. It won't fit out the road with the trees unless you carry it out with the excavator. You'll see how I do that in a minute. That one there is all tangled up. I'm just going to set this one off to the side, try to organize my pile a little bit there. And see, you kind of got to run sideways down the road until you get all the way out to the clearing. And I've got a massive brush pile out here. I mean, it's big. So I want it to be pretty wet out before I light this up, because we still have a lot of, dry leaves on the ground. But you can see that pile right there. It's just growing. I got to get burning on it. But this is a long way to trim with the excavator. Like I said, if I had that stuff cut shorter, I could grab those piles in half the time, a quarter of the time with the skid loader and grapple. But you would have spent more time cutting them down to length and piling everything up neatly. But just a lot of stuff to get rid of. You can see here you kind of get jacked up around some trees. Might have a few that are hanging down. Just not the easiest way, but it'll work. All right, just put that load on the pile. We're going to head back out the road, grab another one. The road is probably, 13 or 14 feet wide. It'll have like a 10-foot wide driving surface on it when it's done. But right now it's probably 13 or 14 feet wide. If you look right here, it looked like I got a nice grab on that pile, but that one tree is kind of half in it. So you got to pull it out, go back up, grab it again, and then carry this one down to the burn pile. All right, I didn't film all of this, but I think I took about 6 or 7 loads down to the burn pile. I'm going to go get one more here, but I'm getting it cleaned up. What I need to do is start at one end, like out by the house, and just clean everything up one more time as I go down. And, you know, all those little piles along the side, there's a few little stumps left. You can see as I get down through here, there's still a bunch of stuff left. I'd like to get it all cleaned up. Next time it's dry, I'll do that. I'll just start at one end by the house and make sure I clean everything up all the way out. You can see here out in the field, that little bit of green, that's that winter rye that I planted last year. It's trying to come up again right now. But I'm going to head over here and we're going to take down a couple trees. So here we have 3 trees. The first one I'm going to take down is a white oak. Not a real big one, probably 12 inches in diameter. But those white oaks, they can be stubborn. And right beside it, there's a maple that's broke off, and then it's kind of tangled up with a cherry that's broke up as well. So in that little area there, I've got roots going every different direction. And if you'll see here in a minute, I get it to where it's just about to go over, but I realize it's going to head over towards the camera. It was going to be close, so I figured make some room over here and just push it right out in the field. That worked better. Then I'm going to try to move this one out of the way. I didn't even have a saw with me. I was just, you know, slinging trees and stuff here, but I got it out of the way. Just keep rolling that root ball, try to knock some dirt off of it, pull the whole tree back some. But it's heavy. Just that root ball itself is heavy. Plus, it's connected to the whole tree. So I got that one out of the way, and we're going to head over to the maple and cherry. We'll get these 2 down, and then we'll end up having a giant hole in the ground that we have to fill in. You'll see that here in just a minute. This whole project out here, it's been a lot of work. It has. And I just kind of work at it on and off when the weather allows. And, you know, I can find some time to get out here. But I've probably taken down well over 100 trees, I don't even know, maybe 150 trees out there. Probably only 10 or 12 real big ones. Everything else has been, you know, in that 12 to 15 inch diameter range. But we got some nice saw logs out of here. We got a whole bunch of firewood out of here. And now I'm just kind of filling that hole back in and sorting out the bigger roots. Try to get some of them out. I don't get too crazy. And then I'm going to have a big hole. So after I'm done with this tree here, I'm going to run the excavator back, and I will bring out the skid loader and try to fix that all up there. I should have taken those trees down last year. You could see the way they're kind of sticking out there in the edge of the field, and I'm glad to get these 2 down. On the other side, I may have 5 or 6 more, and I think that's going to be it for this year. Then I got to get something planted out here probably in the next couple weeks. All right, now we've got the skid loader out here. I'm just going to push some of the shale that's laying around mixed with topsoil. I'll put some of it in the hole, and I'll get rid of some of the roots. I'll clean them up later. And the problem here is, although it's drying up, we have had inches and inches of rain, so everything's still pretty wet. I was hoping to get this hole compacted a little bit with some good material, but it's just kind of wet. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. I've got a big pile of topsoil that I took off the road, and I'm going to use some of that. From this angle, you can't tell, but there's probably a 1 foot low spot, maybe 1.5 feet deep there. And I need to fill that back in with some of this topsoil here, or every time it rains, we're going to have a little pond right there, and I don't want that. But this skid loader, man, it moves some dirt in a hurry, but it's just wet. It's really wet stuff, just not dry enough. And normally, if it's not too bad, you can kind of track it in like I'm doing here. But in this case, it was starting to pump a little bit, which when I say pump, I mean right beside your tracks, it's pumping up out of the ground. It's just too wet. But we're getting it to where, you know, water will shed off of it. So that's not too bad. But I got a lot of this topsoil here. There's some roots in there, some wee little rocks, but we'll till everything up when we're done. Be good. Well, that's kind of a big mess now. I got a little greedy. I should have just left it alone after I took these trees out of there. I had a hole there, you know, because I removed a couple big root balls, and I wanted to fill it in before it rained again so it wasn't holding water. But the dirt, that's topsoil that I was filling it back in with, it's real wet. I thought I could kind of track it in, but it was kind of pumping. So it'll have to dry out quite a bit. But the plan here is, you know, I've got some more low spots out there. You can see where water's still laying. I mean, we had floods literally just a couple days ago. But we've had some sun and wind the last 2 days, so it was drying up. But we need like a week of this weather, which we're not going to get. But the plan here is, as soon as it rains, we are going to burn that massive brush pile, clean up all those firewood poles over there, just a few more trees over there, clean up the edges, and then I'm going to bring the tractor and the tiller out here. It's going to have to dry up, like I said, till this all up, and I'm still debating on what I'm going to plant out here. It may just be a ryegrass. I need to get something growing though before the Japanese stilt grass starts growing. That's usually about the beginning of summer. It's kind of late, you know what I mean? So if I can get just something planted in here, I think we can stay ahead of it. But it's still just April. I mean, we got an early spring, really. Down over the hill, off in the distance, I can hear nephew Christian on his mule. We got back, late yesterday, and he was like out cutting up trees, working in the garden, all kind of stuff. He'll put that thing to good use. But anyway, I think that's about it for today's video. I appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget, sign up to our newsletter if you like. Go to outdoorswiththemorgans.com. There will be a pop-up. Enter your email and you'll be signed up for our newsletter. I appreciate y'all being here, and I will catch you on the next one.